Hello, I wanted to share my latest craft project, and it all started with finding this blanket at an auction. And then learning that it required a special tool. I thought, well, no, there's got to be a way to do this just with a crochet hook. And I found something online, and then I played around with it and found ways to make it my own. So now I make a bunch of these. I think I'm going to redo this blanket. I don't like the way the flowers just kind of blend and blur into each other, so I'm going to take this apart and stitch these connecting yarns, and then use a green to make it look like grass or leaves and do something different. And I think I want to crochet it. I don't like having to stitch this together. For some reason that bothers me. I want to crochet them together. But I started making these, and these take, and then I add the center. Initially I was doing the centers with this yarn and then having to change to the yellow, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like, so I started doing it all in yellow and then crocheting the centers later. So let me get started. So however you start off, however you like to do it. I've noticed people do things differently. My sister holds her needle very differently than I do. She holds it like a pencil, and I'm holding it under, and she's holding it like this, and I can't do it. So once you get it started, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go back into the first chain to make a loop. There. Then chain 1. And then you're going to single stitch into the center 12 times. 1, 2, 3, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then go into the first hole, the first single stitch, pull through. Now I'm a lot faster without a camera in between me and my project. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I call these puff stitches, but yarn over like this, go in the same hole that the first stitch, pull through. Do this a total of 3 times. That's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to go and do that again 3 more times into the next chain. 1, 2, 3. And then you pull through all of them and lock it in. Chain 3, 2, 3, and then you go back into that same second hole and pull through. These are not exactly the same instructions that I found online, but this is what I like doing and is working for me. Now just go and do this, pull through on the second one and chain 3. Now we're repeating what we just did. 1, 2, 3, next hole, 1, 2, 3, pull all the way through. Oops. Chain 3. So as you can see, there's 12 single stitches in that circle. So that'll give us, using 2 per petal, that'll give us 6 petals. Oops. Oops. Pull the yarn out. Last petal. Uh-oh. And what I like to do to end it is to pull it through this one. And that pulls it tight. There we go. Now for the centers, I've made it mainly with light colored yarn, peach, and it just doesn't pop as much. So I'm using some yarn that's already been pre-cut. I bought a whole bunch at auction, and they're just a little bit longer than I need for this, which works out. Cat hairs. And this is what I'm going to do. Oops, let me just get a little bit too on top of that. This is the back side. So now, oops, that was the tail. It's a little different when you got a camera between you and your project. I got both tails down going this way. So I'm just going to single stitch, chain 1 for that first one, going through. I really like this brighter color. Uh-oh, looks like I dropped a little bit of that yarn. Oops. This is the wrong size head, wrong size crochet needle, I think, but I'll manage. Changing the crochet needle at this point will also change the size of the stitches. I want to keep a little consistency in there, even though I'm changing the color of the yarn. And see, now I'm tying in the tails. Oops, gotta be careful not to pull those. So now I have the yellow, the tail of the yellow yarn left. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, make it a little easier on myself. Now it doesn't matter if I get 12 stitches, 12 single crochet on this, on the center, but it looks more uniform if I do. You get a nicer circle. Some of the centers of these aren't as pretty. The yellow yarn centers, and this kind of helps hide that. Oops. I do normally crochet a little bit neater and better, but like I said, with the camera in between, it's a little hot. I'm gonna go ahead and use that, repeating that same thing, and we're tie in, and then chain one. And I normally do, again, threes. So I kind of go over 1, 2, 3. The fourth one. There. 2, 3, about the fourth one. And kind of in the middle there. Oops. And I'm going to pull that right through on that last one. I like that darker color. It stands out much nicer than this. So that's how I do the centers. And then I'm going to tie, just go around in here to get rid of this tail. But I am going to do one knot